Good evening everyone, it's time for some GT Sport action. I am F4H Rosso, as usual. I've not changed since the last time you watched my videos. Today it is Nations Cup time, so we're going to be using the newly created American, definitely not Rosso account. That's definitely not me in disguise. Basically, as you can see already, it's the Porsche one make race around Interlagos from the other night. Definitely, just a disclaimer, have not copied Super GT here. I know he's already released a video tonight with exactly the same race, pure coincidence, but definitely if you've got time, nip over to his channel and give that a watch. Great race, very brutal as he says in the title. But this is our take on it. It's another fight to the front video, which I enjoy doing and I think you guys enjoy watching. So no quali, we are at the back of the grid, 18th position, and the main aim for those of you that haven't seen it before, or even if you have, the main aim is to get as far forward as possible. Really, the main aim is podium positions. If we can get a foot on that podium, then I would consider the race a success. But we're going to see, basically, as we hurtle down towards the centre S's, the now infamous GT Sport penalty system in action. As you can see, I basically didn't make contact with anybody and come out of the first corner with a 1 second penalty. Then I try and serve it, and no matter how slow I go, the penalty won't go away. So I'm literally going 30 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, and the penalty will not serve. So cracking start to the race. I am 14 seconds, we'll say, behind the leader, 40 seconds into the race. So good start. We're going to fast forward to lap 2 because basically the entirety of the first lap was me trying to catch up with everybody again. So here we go, the beginning of the race proper, lap 2 at Interlagos. And we're hunting down a pack of roughly 14,000 cars in front of us, so this is going to be an extreme amount of fun. Breaking down into the hard right-hander, and it's basically an absolute clusterfuck in front of me. No idea what's going on. To add insult to injury, there's a cone in the middle of the track trying to basically murder me as well. We go for the outside, basically trying to overtake this American on the outside who decides that I am not worthy of the same racetrack as him and tries to murder me on the outside. That guy goes ghosted, then unghosts. So basically, it's all happening. I have no idea how we got through that alive as we head down into the final corner. Again, it's going to be very interesting into the centre S's. Again, the same 14,000 cars in front of us. The same American on our left-hand side, who I trust at this point about as far as I can throw him, because he's already basically tried to murder us once. So heading down into the centre S's, basically your prime overtaking position on Interlagos. We're going to switch over. I'm going to try and dive down the inside, but the American goes one better and basically skittles everyone out of the way for us. But then we have to brake really hard to avoid touching him. We've already experienced the GT Sport penalty system at its finest, so I really didn't want to touch him. And then again, he's going to run us out of road on the outside. So all in all, a solid effort from that guy, trying extremely hard to take the worst GT Sport driver award from that guy the other night. And just as we're about to deal out awards, we get punted from behind. At least no 5-second penalty this time. For those of you that saw the Maggiore video from the other day, we got a 5-second penalty for basically being molested into a corner. And exactly the same then to Disquido de Largo, apart from we got away without the penalty this time. So it's all cracking off. It's been an absolutely mental start to the race. At this point, you know, I'm kind of hoping it settles down. Just bear in mind that this is, for me, at about 3 AM, so I'm tired as it is. This is, you know, asking a lot of me at this point, and it's all cracking off. So I'm having to dodge cars left, right, and centre. But basically, that, in a roundabout way, that lap has been quite a success. We've made our way up to 12th. We've got a car off ahead of us who's ghosted and then unghosts, and basically again tries to force me off the track. I'm not entirely sure what it is about. So this is sportsmanship rating B, so in theory it should be relatively clean, but we've just approached lap 4. We go for a textbook move down into the centre S's. It's basically I forgot about that. So Savage Soul Reaper in front of us just there, because I'm babbling on about penalty systems, decides, as he's got a penalty, to serve his penalty on the racing line. What better place to do it? I mean, come on. Really? Any ideas? So we smash into the back of him. We've lost 7th place, but fortunately for us, You Not Me, You're Not Me even, can't even read, has graciously decided to fall off the track in front of us. So back up to 7th. We've not really lost anything through that. But yeah, as I was saying before, and basically as this lap's proven, we're 4 laps into the race and just everything's happened. We've been forced off the track, we've been punted, we've had people serving penalties on the racing line. It's just crazy. People dive bombing, and speaking of dive bombing, take a look at that. That is an absolutely beautiful move. Call me Tom Daly. Absolutely top quality dive. In fact, don't call me Tom Daly. Distinctly average diver, and that dive was definitely worthy of Olympic gold. As we go into the final corner, we find ourselves in 6th position. So, as far as fight to the front videos goes, this one is actually going pretty well. Lap 4, and we've already made our way up to 6th. And even though we've basically had to fight our way through World War III to get to 6th, we've actually not lost that much time to 1st position. We're going to jump forward. We're basically approaching the finish line, coming up to lap 6, just set the fastest lap of the race, so it's going well. Another beautiful move down into the centre S's until major malfunction there decides that turning into me is the order of the day, so we've got a little bit more work to do again. But you know what? That's what these fights to the front videos are all about, isn't it? Bit of extra work never hurt anybody. So we're going to run it into Major Meltdown again later on in the race, so check that one out, stick around. He's not finished with us yet. But yeah, we've got to hunt down our 6th and 5th position once more as we head through Decido, blah 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 blah, the corner that is impossible to pronounce if you are English, and basically set about hunting these 2 guys in front. Not really a massive fan of Interlagos, as you can probably tell. It's not been basically one of my strongest tracks. I find it very difficult, especially in the Group 3 cars, running without traction control. It can be extremely difficult to try and put the power down out of these really slow corners in the midfield section. We're just going to nip inside the American through Junção, I think it is, and into the final corner. And again, here we are, deja vu. Basically, like the lap previous, we're going to be chasing the major disaster. Don't know how many christenings I'm going to give him this race, but yeah, major disaster, we'll call him for this lap. Chasing him down into the centre S's for the 2nd time. Let's see if it goes any better for us this time around. You can tell really that, I mean, this is a Nations Cup race, so we're experiencing tyre degradation, fuel is burning off, etc. And you can see I'm starting to really struggle with the tyres. They've given their best at this point. So you can see down into the centre S's, you know, we're hitting the same kind of braking point, but completely missing the apex. We struggled through, well, there you go. Struggled through Descido del Lago, and we are in the wall. So basically, again, maximum work to do. We're down to 8th. We've pitched it into the inside wall, and Ace is full. He's going to take full advantage of that and jump in front of us. So basically down to 9th position. So again, a lot of work to do. Aces has made a mistake, which is good for us, and then bad for us because he's decided to again give us a decent shovel into that corner. He's popped his hazard lights on. I'm not sure whether they were on beforehand or whether he is just a genuine hazard. But, either way, I'm quite scared of him at this point. As we approach Junção, he's all over the show, fishtailing around all over the shop, and he's again going to give us a gift. He's disappearing off to do a Kimi Räikkönen down on the right hand side. So skip forward to lap 8. This is pit stop time. So we've basically gotten onto the back of You're Not Me again, the guy's name who I butchered the first time around, and it's pit stop time. So we're going to essentially try and right the wrongs of the Maggiore pit stop. Again, for those of you that didn't watch that last race, definitely worth a watch. As mental, if not probably more mental than this one. We, in that race, probably fueled for a little bit longer than we needed to and actually ended up losing the win on the race by 1/10 of a second. So, one thing I didn't actually know and I've played this game a decent amount, is you see that little diamond on the fuel meter? That is what you need to get to the end of the race. So basically, if you finish fueling at the diamond, then you're pretty much golden for the end of the race. So we tried to hit the diamond on the fuel, try and make sure we saved as much time as possible. And we'll see how it shakes out for us. Just exiting the pit lane now. It's a bit of a shame you can't drive out the pit lane actually, it would be quite cool. But basically we're going to come out in 10th position, so we've actually lost a few places as it shook out in the pit stops. What may have happened is that chap in the Porsche, say in the Porsche, everyone's in Porsche, makes a mistake, and we'll gladly take that 9th position off him. Yeah, what I will say is there are a few people, I believe, that haven't pitted so far, so again, we'll see how it shakes out over the next couple of laps. But again, lots of work to do. I think I'm basically in this race trying to set a new Guinness World Record for the amount of times you can pass the same person in a race. So we're chasing our best mate, You're Not Me, who I might as well add on PSN at this point because we know each other like the back of the hand. I've been racing him all race. We're chasing him down into the final corner once more, and we're just going to basically try and make use of that lovely Interlagos toe. It seems to work really well at this track for some reason. The slipstream basically sucks you right in, tucks you in behind the car in front and makes a move into the centre S's. Pretty much a formality, but we're not quite close enough this lap to take advantage. You can see the fresh rubber really gives me a ton of grip into the centre S's. Tucks the nose right in. We were struggling with it so much for the laps before. We've closed in a huge amount on the two guys in front of each other that are trading paint jobs. Obviously don't know about the Discover tab in the main menu. You just download each other's paint, guys. No need for the argy-bargy. But we're going to try and take advantage of the argy-bargy. Again, You're Not Me on our left-hand side. He's just kind of like crapped himself a bit there. I don't think he realised that we were around. Giving us a bit of a nudge. We're just going to avoid contact with Ludwig. And then sink it up his inside into the right-hander. So solid couple of moves there. 2 corners, 2 passes. And we've got our old mate, Major Incident, in front of us. Who, again, Guinness World Record attempt. How many times can you pass the same people in one race? We're going to find out. I think we're on overtaking manoeuvre 6,582 at this point. So again, final corner. I seem to love commentating over that final corner. We're going to skip forward because absolutely nothing happened for the next lap. It was basically me getting my head down, setting the fastest lap of the race in the process. What seems to happen in these Nations Cup races is they're that crazy. I say the Nation Cup races, like I've raced a lot of them. I haven't. But what I found in this race is they're that crazy that you actually cannot even remotely run to the pace that you normally would. As our mate, the Major, tries to come on the track in front of us on the right hand side. So basically in practice I was doing a 130.9, 131.2, something like that. Absolutely no chance, no hope of emulating that in a race situation. The tyres just seem to go off so quickly that you basically have a 1 lap window to set a barely representative lap time, and if you're trying to scythe your way through the field like we are, you've just got absolutely no hope. But again, this race is actually coming towards us. Still only 19 seconds to first, despite the fact that we've had a nose full of wall and also basically fought through just about everybody that ever existed on GT Sport to get to this point. And again, as I said a couple of laps ago, this is your bread and butter Interlagos move, straight in the slipstream. He thinks about defending, but makes it nice and easy for us. Straight down the inside into the centre S's, job done. Absolutely no coming back from that one. And that's 4th position, so basically 1 step away from where we want to be. So Kirby, chap ahead of us, we're going to close in on him. He was the early leader of the race, so he's definitely got some pace. He's basically directly in front of us. So final lap, makes a bit of a mistake on the exit of the final corner, which kind of saves him a little bit, because we had a really good run out of the final corner, basically had nowhere to go. But again, nice slipstream down into the centre assist. He is going to go defensive, but not defensive enough. We're going to slip again straight up the inside. He's a bit later on the brakes than the guy on the lap before, but we run him out of room on that outside, basically give him nowhere to go, and that move is made. So basically, final lap, we've got 1 foot on the podium, we've got KTM in front of us by 4 seconds at the start of the lap, and even me, being Captain Ambitious, I don't think we're going to close that gap, but we'll see what we can do. Basically running as quickly as possible, flat out at this point, nothing to lose, not really too fussed on the result, so we're basically going to go flat out, try and catch him, and we are. We've made a second in the first sector, so you see the benefit of running in clear air. It really, that gap's really closed up, and he's definitely struggling. You see him with a massive fishtail moment on the outside just there. Again, second sector, we've closed up another second, so he's definitely feeling the pressure. He can see that time coming down on the left hand side, so can we. So through Juncal for the last time, brake hard into the final corner, down into second gear. We're basically looking at getting the best run we possibly can out of the final turn, which we don't. Get a bit of grass on the outside, which has kind of put paid to our hopes of that second position. We're in the toe, but not quite close enough. Basically, as we're heading towards the line, he basically jams on the anchors. We try to go left, he tries to kill us, but luckily we're through. So KTM actually had a penalty. By the looks of things, only a 1 second penalty, so not entirely sure what he was doing just there. I mean, even if it wasn't a 1 second penalty, even if it was 2 seconds or whatever, he didn't need to try and hit us. He should have just served a second in front of the line or something like that and just job done. Second position, but I mean, it's our benefit. So there you have it. 1 step away from the podium once more. 7 seconds to the leader, which is a bit of a shame because, as I say, we made a big mistake on, I think it was lap 7. Could have been another race win, but what could have been 18th to 2nd, very similar to the Maggior result on the video before. We will get that win one day, it's just not today. But thank you ever so much for watching, guys. As usual, if you did enjoy the video, feel free to whack a like on that left hand side. Big thumbs up, not the thumbs down, please. And also, if you like what you see and you're new to the channel, that big red button on the right hand side, subscribe, and it will give you a notification basically whenever I upload anything or whenever we go live for a stream. We do some cool streams on the channel. Open lobbies coming up in the next couple of days, so we'll get everyone involved, do some racing, get the community involved in some cool races, do a mixture of stuff, Group 3, Group 4, etc, etc. As our GT Sport avatar celebrates our 16 position rise through absolute carnage. As I say, guys, thank you for watching. See you soon.